You know, in the wintertime around these parts, a machete is probably not the best tool for the job. It's just a knife that's a bit too big for anything you'd be doing. But in the summertime, when the weeds are growing up, a machete is a perfect tool. Any of those hiking, or dirt bike, four-wheeler, or camping trips that you might be on, this will cut through any brush that gets in your way, providing, of course, it's not a whole tree. Today we'll be reviewing this Gerber machete and pushing it to its boundaries. I've had this machete for a year or two now, so it has been used in the past. We're going to see how far we can push this machete and see if it stands up to our testing. Let's get this video started. Let's talk about the features of this machete first. Of course, it's got a blade on it, and we're going to test it on cutting light brush. Remember, this is not an axe, so we're not going to be cutting through anything too heavy. There's a saw blade on the back, so we'll test how the saw blade works. I never have much liked saw blades on the back of machetes or knives. I don't use them very much. It comes with a lanyard, so those of you who like lanyards, use that. I don't much like lanyards either. For the heck of it, we might throw it a time or two just to see how it holds up to that. It has a rubber handle, so that's going to absorb a little bit more shock than, per se, a wood or maybe plastic handle. The plastic at the top hasn't cracked at all or anything like that through my use, and these rivets have stayed in place. They haven't vibrated out like a few of my previous knives and machetes have done. Let's get the testing part of this review over with then. I don't remember what this was when I originally cut it, but it's a relatively stout piece here. However, it's not incredibly thick. So it should put up a bit of a resistance to this machete. Remember, this machete hasn't been sharpened in about 6 or 7 months. And it's endured a little bit of use since then, but not a lot. So yours might, if it's freshly sharpened, perform a little better than this. This might have more like a fresh out of the box sharpness. Let's see. It went about 3/4 of the way through that. So, and that's just going straight down. Let's try that again. Yeah, cut through that time. Give that one more go. Yeah, if you hit it hard enough, it's going right through. That's probably just the lack of being not so sharp. Let's try it more at the thicker end and with a more strategic angle. Yeah, so not too bad. Didn't perform as well as I was hoping, though. I was expecting it to cut through all the way on that forward swing. Well, there you have it. That's how it cuts. Alright, now we're going to test out these hooks on the back of the blade, which they call a saw. Like I said, I never have much liked saws on the backs or blades of knives or machetes. I never found them much use. But if you're trying to cut a very precise piece of wood, a saw might be what you want. I've already got me a little cut there, but let's try this out. I'll be using my left hand so the camera can see, so I might not be as effective if I use my right. I use that more often. See? Compared to most designated saws, this foot doesn't cut so well, and but that's the same with most saws that are on knives or machetes. It's just not as sharp, and the blade's a little wider. Here, let's pull this over, cut through this a little bit. And you got to put a little more pressure downwards than you do on regular saws. On regular saws, it kind of does the work for you. Now we're almost there. There you go. Right there. So you could waste time doing that to cut your firewood, or you could just cut it off like that. from my trials here, this machete held up pretty well, and I think it's decently well built. The steel doesn't seem to be too awfully bad. It could probably hold an edge a little better, and it's kind of short for a machete, so a lot of times you're going to be swinging your hand into the brush too. But that also makes it a piece for if you're just hiking or camping and you don't need to be carrying a big old long machete with you. The saw on the back, if you like that sort of thing, go ahead with it. I find them useless. Some articles I read, not reviews I read, people were saying that the metal on the blade was bending up when they were hitting it, and this guy said he was hitting little hardwood trees with it, and it bent up the blade on him. Nothing like that's been experienced, and a matter of fact, if I look at the blade here, there's a few little dents in it, but nothing substantial. So nothing like that's happened to me, and I don't exactly treat this machete well, as you've seen. I don't know if I just got the best of the stock or what. So think what you will about that, but on my book it'd get a 6 or 7 out of 10 rating. Held up pretty good. I would like a longer machete, honestly, and I have another one. Got a cool story behind that. I'll tell you about it in our next video on machetes. Let's see. Then you got our Gerber logo sheath. Sheath, it doesn't look great, but it functions well. It's got the belt loop, of course, and a good little safety latch there, Velcro. So nothing too much to say about it. Today I'd like to mention this. It's the 110 or 112, I can't remember exactly, buck carry knife. A friend of ours who actually got the opportunity to go to SHOT Show picked these up for us, and he said I have too many knives and gave it to me, and I said you can never have enough knives. Anyway, it's got like a 2.5-inch blade on it. A little folding knife, doesn't weigh a whole lot, but in the two or 1.5 weeks that I've carried it, it held up pretty good. However long it's been since SHOT Show. It's got the little belt loop there, and this is actually a newer model of a older knife they had, big old heavy pocket knife that they've been making forever. And people requested a carry version of it, so they came up with this, and I like it. So go check this out. This is the Buck 110 or 112, one of the two. Pretty good knives, I think. Thank you for watching the video. Be sure to like and subscribe. Help me get this channel off the ground. We're hoping to, get to at least 100 subscribers in the next couple months, 6 months or something. And I know that's not a high goal, but you got to work in steps. So let's get there before we try anything else. You guys have a good one.